Most of you are now familiar with that this is my 2021 Woman of a Certain Age webinar series where I showcase really inspiring women who are doing fun and interesting things related to our passion and our love for Paris and France. So today, if you've been listening, my guest is author Gayle Smith Padgett, who has written the most charming memoir entitled A Passion for Provence, 22 Keys to la Belle Vie, or the Beautiful Life. Right? I have now read this book twice and loved it each time. Gayle is an American and a native of Washington State. She has 2 master's degrees, and they're in Spanish and Latin American studies, so not in French. But it was when she and her husband, Ralph, went to work in Germany that they started flirting with France, and this is where their passion for Provence really took hold. So Gayle, as you've been listening to her, she's coming to us tonight, her time, from a little town called Remi de Provence, which has a population of about 10,000 people. And she now calls this home. Isn't that right, Gayle?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
So welcome. And how are you? Tell us a little bit about what the weather is like and everything. We always like to.
Really changed today.
Yesterday,
yeah, it was sunny and it was beautiful. And then overnight, I think, fall was ushered in. We started off with a big thunderstorm, but the sun came out around 2, so we're good.
So how long will the nice weather continue for you there?
Well, it can actually be quite good all through the winter.
Really?
I'll be showing you a scene with some snow, but that doesn't happen very often. It can be great all through the winter, but also we have the Mistral, which is a very fierce wind. It can go on for days and start to make you crazy. So it's pretty doable because the sun comes out. So even though it might be a little chilly, if you've got the sun, then you can just bundle up and
make all the difference. I'm just going to show everybody just where Saint-Remy is because I know that that's the kind of thing that I really like to see. So let me just put up this share. I'll go back one here. There we go. So this is a shot of the south of France, obviously, and you can see Nice over here, Marseille, Montpellier, and the red dot is where Saint-Remy de Provence, right, Gayle?
Right. Yep. And you just go due south. You see where it says the Rhone kind of curls
right here
below Arles. Yeah, Arles is a Roman city.
There, yeah.
And then there's a kind of looks like a blue lake. That area is called the Camargue. And it's a huge delta where the Rhone empties into the Mediterranean, and it's rich with bird life. So that zone has a very special, it's a very special part of our story.
And also you have a mountain range. Most people don't realize Provence has a little mountain range called Les Alpes. Les
Alpes.
That's right. And they're right about here, right? Or in here?
Just right where Saint-Remy is.
Yeah. Okay. Right there. Right. So it's not a huge mountain range. It's just a nice, so you can go walking and hiking and everything there. Sounds fantastic. All right. So now that we've been situated, so let me, we won't get to all 22 keys of your life in Provence in this talk, but we want people to read your book, so they will be able to do that. But we can certainly talk about the interesting journey that you've had getting to where you are. And you write at the beginning of the book that falling for France was easy. And you were inspired, and this was so interesting, you were inspired by author Peter Mayle, who we all know, I've written about him in my blog too, who wrote that very, very famous book, A Year in Provence, and really started the whole Provence wave, right? So to tell us a little bit about that connection.
Yeah. He's my hero, that's for sure. And it all started back in the 90s here in Provence on a delayed honeymoon. And that was when I was reading his book, his most famous book, and his story about swapping his fast-paced life in London for, the French countryside spoke to my soul. And I said, and here I was experiencing the very things that he was writing so charmingly about, like soleil and rosé, the sun and rosé wine, the baton players, the outdoor markets, and of course all the delicious food, which was so mouth-watering. I think he uses that term in his book. Anyway, but it was also his easy style and his wry humor and his deep affection for France and the French people. It just, I was hooked, absolutely hooked. So I just wanted to read everything that he produced as fast as it came out, trying to immerse myself in this dream of perhaps one day living here.
And then, but then you actually met him, didn't you?
Yeah, I
Yeah. So tell
did.
us that.
Yeah, some years later, we were, we were in Heidelberg, Germany, but we went back to live in Virginia. We kind of went back and forth a few times, so in the DC area. And Peter Mayle was there doing, book tour. And so I met him. I went and heard heard about his book. I can't even remember which one it was right now, but
Got
I
so
was so
many.
fascinated, and he was so charming. It was lovely to meet him and have him sign my book. And I always remembered he was wearing red socks. I just thought that was the coolest thing. He was very spirited and yeah, ultra
Did he give
charming.
you, he gave you some advice about your book because he knew you were writing a book, right?
Yeah, he did. It
Wow.
was back in the summer of 2017 that I wrote him a fan letter,
Mm.
told him I was writing the book and asked for advice, and he wrote back.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, because he lives, well, he used to live
Yes, he's passed away,
just
unfortunately.
about, maybe an hour from here.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
And a town that became quite famous and kind of
yeah,
not,
yeah,
people were not too happy about that, as I remember.
yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us now, tell us a bit about how you settled on Saint Remi, because really the book is about, part of the book anyway, is really about that this was quite the journey to find a place that you would say,
Right.
I'm going to live here,
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, it
just give
was.
us some of
So
the highlights of that.
highlights, well, you have to, it kind of boils down to birds and serendipity,
Okay.
because I mentioned earlier, my husband Ralph is a big bird watcher. So after we got married in the Washington, D.C. area, we went immediately over to Heidelberg, Germany. Took a while before we could have our honeymoon. So, where to go? Well, Ralph was very excited about going to the Camargue, which we talked about earlier, for the bird life. And of course, it wasn't a hard sell for me because I love the Impressionists paintings, and this is their landscape. And, once I did research, I said, okay, I'm on.
Mm.
So we came down here, and then it was Arles was supposed to be our destination, but when, this is pre-internet and all that, so just had guidebooks. So when we checked out the place we were to stay in Arles, we said, oh no, it was really substandard. It was like, we can't do this.
Really?
So
Okay.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
so anyway,
We
so
tried a few more places though, too, like
yeah,
X
we
and
just sort of inched our way to the west, and we ended up in Saint Remy, and we said, wow, this is pretty
mm,
cool. We
mm.
like it here. So for the next 20 some years, we would always come down here. And we tried other places too, but then when it came to decide about a retirement place, we really thought Saint Remy was it. That was going to be it. But for year-round living, we hesitated, and we said, maybe it's not big enough.
Mm.
So we ended up going to Aix-en-Provence, which is a huge cultural center, and it's gorgeous, and I adore it. 150,000 people, university town. It's vibrant. It's wonderful. And we loved it for 18 months, but we couldn't find a place to live. We were in a little tiny starter apartment with no AC, no pool.
Yeah, you're
And
right about
we said,
very eloquently about that, actually. It's very
oh, yeah,
good. Yeah.
it was hot.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, turned out we found this great place in Saint Remy.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been in the same house for 9 years.
And we're going to talk about more about that. But
Yeah.
so you very kindly put a video together to show us sort of the highlights of Saint Remy, which is just lovely. So I'm going to
Okay.
put that up for everybody to see, and I'll just let you comment on it,
I'll
okay, as
just
we go
jabber
on it.
away.
There
So
we go.
this is it at the foot of the Alpi on the south of Saint Remy. Can you see the little church spire there in the distance?
I
That's the
can,
center of
yes.
Saint Remy. And this is actually, we're on the path that's called the Via Domitia, which is the first Roman road that was built to connect Spain and Italy and through France.
Beautiful
So,
countryside.
and we come up here, maybe 4 times a week. And this is the Hotel de Ville, the city hall on Place Placier. And you see how the tree looks like it's wrapped with a knitted sweater. It
Mm-hmm.
is in fact knitted wrap. It's called what's it called? Guerrilla knitting, apparently, is one of the names for it. And this is just to highlight the importance of trees in Saint-Remy. It's a project that's going on right now,
Oh,
or
love it.
program. And this is Hotel Gounod. Can you see the plaque there that it says?
Yep, to the left,
This is
yes.
Charles Gounod, where Charles Gounod is a composer that stayed there in 1863 and wrote this famous opera called Marie. Of course, it was a humble inn back then, and that opera was based on a poem by the same name by Frederic Mistral. Oops, didn't get that all in there. But
That's
anyway,
okay.
he got the Nobel Prize for Literature in
I'll stop right here so you can talk about it. Yep.
1905 or 4, something like that.
Wow.
Anyway,
We'll have
now
to
we've
look that
moved,
up.
and that's right in the center of town. Now this is about 20
I'm gonna go.
minutes.
Oh, I gone back to the beginning again. Hold
Oh,
on.
we're back in the beginning.
That's
We're
what
back in the
happens here.
LP
There we
again.
go.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is the courtyard of St. Paul de Moselle. This is a, we call it a monastery. It's actually a psychiatric hospital now, still up and running.
It's going too
Oops.
fast here. We're gonna,
Can
let's
we go
go.
back a second?
Yeah, I'll
so
hold
Van
it
Gogh
until you
stayed
finish,
here,
okay? Yeah.
and for 1889 for a year or so, but he painted nearly 150 paintings, including the very famous The Starry Night. So if you look that up, it's one of his most
Well, wait a minute though. This was
renowned.
a hospital, right?
Yeah, he
So he
checked
was
himself
living in a
in.
hospital when he painted all those paintings?
Yeah, he checked himself in to get care.
Due to mental health problems?
Yes,
Wow.
yeah, you have to check Wikipedia for the
Okay, I'll look at it.
all the
But
details
this
on
is
that.
this still a hospital?
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
but it's also sort of a museum. You can go in and see the room that where he stayed, and they've reconstructed it, and you can see the lavender fields, and the lavender garden and the enclosed garden in the back. So
Okay.
this is back in the center of town. We're right next door to the main church, the Saint Martin, and this
Beautiful.
is a historic Grand Café Riche. So it just got a facelift, got new paint, but it's still really charming on the inside. And I understand they have a new chef who's producing some really great stuff. Oh,
Ooh, I like the name.
Boulangerie Ash,
Mm.
wonderful pastry shop. Also breads, you can see all the breads in the back there. Saint-Remy has a whole bunch of them, but this is one of my favorites, and their almond croissants are, beyond decadent. We only allow ourselves to have them, once a month or so, if that.
Must be hard.
Yeah. So again, the Église Saint Martin, but this is market day. You can see all the stalls down there, and this to the right there, all the stalls, food stalls, go down that road to the city hall. And on the front of the city hall, we're going to come back to a slide on that shows the stands there. That's all food, and this is all food in here too. And you can see the cyclists going up. So this is
Beautiful.
about a 20-minute stroll from our house. It's out in the countryside. It's just a kind of it's rustic on the outside, but upscale on the inside,
Wow,
but
it's
in kind of a
beautiful.
traditional manner, this hotel and restaurant, and it's a very popular wedding venue. So because you really feel like you're in the middle of a nature park, and sheep graze across the street on occasion.
Wow.
Now we're back to in front of
Food.
City Hall on Wednesday's market day. So this is a very popular stand, olives everywhere you can
White
think of,
olives.
black,
I don't think I've ever
green,
seen that.
spiced up with Remi de Provence, curry, garlic, hot red pepper flakes, variety of colors. And
look at this.
This is a summer season, and so one wonderful thing about Saint-Remy is that it's right in the middle of an agricultural zone, so it's very much a farm to fork scenario. And this is just some of the wares that came along in the summer with all the blackberries and strawberries and so on.
Gorgeous.
So it's really easy to get into the rhythm of the seasons. And this across from the church on the Place de la République in front of that Chichi Hotel Gounod is oh, I just saw the little chat. They have some very nice clothing stalls, and in this square, there's no food. It's all home goods, home decor stuff, linen, tablecloths, and so on.
Wow.
Now, this is again still market day. This is a little square, little tiny square, but where those people are seated at tables, that's a rather new place called Maison Marshall. And apparently the food is excellent. We haven't been there. It's hard to keep up around here. It's a happy challenge though. And
Yes.
the musicians there have set up, and
Yeah.
that's very common on market day.
Wow.
Now we're over at Place Favier, our favorite square, because it's not up and running now because of the market, but to the right there's a creperie where we love to go and have an apéro during the summer because it's nice and cool because these ancient plane trees. And you can kind of see behind the fountain there's a tree that's wrapped with that wrap, that knit.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, and so this is just around the corner from Maison Marshall. This is a very, that's kind of a go-to cheese store. It's been there since the 90s when we first got here, and you go in there, and I doubt that there will be a cheese that's produced in France that you can't find there.
Oh my goodness.
Love
it.
It's
Love it. And truffles too, it looks like there. Yeah.
So deco store, interior design is a big deal in Saint-Remy. We've got an inordinate amount of home decor shops, and this is one of the premier examples. It's quite expensive, but you can go in there and browse for free and get ideas. And
I love that. Oh, look at this. I love this picture.
This is one of the several entrances to the historic old historic center. And if you go down, you wiggle around just a little bit, you'll get to a fountain that's got a big bust of Nostradamus, who is Saint-Remy's most famous native son, born in 1505, I think.
Okay, way back when.
Yeah, his house, you can see his house, but it's nothing special. It's just a facade and with a plaque on it.
Better stop here.
And so another 25-minute walk in another direction brings you to Lac Peru, which is just completely serene and calm, and a really nice respite from the
beautiful, wow,
busy, hectic experience in downtown Saint-Remy. And these are the Roman ruins, or part of the Roman ruins of the city of Glanum. So anyway, this is just around the corner from the monastery St. Paul de Mosole, and you can go in there and wander around. And
okay, I'm not happy about this.
This one is just quite across the street from Glanum. This is actually, part of it, but open to the public. It's not fenced in or anything. The arch, that's the triumphant arch, that was kind of the entrance to Glanum. And then this, the tall structure is a mausoleum dedicated to a family who supported Caesar, I believe.
Okay, and how long?
Anyway, this was on the one snowy day we had last year.
That was my question.
This last winter. Yeah.
So did it last one day only, I hope?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Very
we
good,
scrambled up there to take some photos. I just wanted you to, it doesn't happen very often. Yeah, so don't
be an event then for people to see.
It was an event.
Winter. Yeah.
It was kind of cool, actually.
I think we're moving. Are we moving? No, there we go again. There we go again. Okay.
So we're kind of
I know it's hard to know which is to go. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
oh, this is incredible. I'm going to stop this right here.
Yeah, this one is so fun. This is Pentecost. Monday is the day when the transhumance is staged. This is when 3,000 sheep are paraded around the ring road twice, and then they are taken to higher pastures. Wow. And you can see on the right-hand side,
incredible,
a little bit halfway through the middle of the screen, there are some sheep herders in traditional sheep herder clothes, and it's just so fun.
That looks like somebody with a dog holding on for dear life there.
Yeah, right? yeah. All the little kids are trying to pet the animals trotting by, and their parents are trying to protect them, and it's crazy.
And you said crazy, they do it 3 times?
Twice. Okay. Now twice. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And then they take them up to a plateau on the other side of town called the Petit Croix, and they have a big barbecue for, locals will sign up, weeks ahead of time and buy a ticket to eat, guess what? Grilled lamb.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so it's really fun.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
So it's, sometime late May, early June, depending on when
here we go again.
Pentecost Linda is. So yeah, it's lots of fun. It's lots of fun.
We're moving along here. There we go. Okay.
Oh,
I would love to see that.
oh yeah, so traditional dress. These ladies on parade are called Arlésiennes, meaning the ladies of Arles. And this outfit that they have on developed in 18th century, I understand, and very much influenced by the sophisticated fashion scene in Paris. And I wanted to tell you that most distinctive feature is the double bun. So
Oh, maybe I don't
now
want to
it
go
takes
back.
hours to learn how to do it, apparently.
Let's just go
But
back
you
there.
won't
Okay.
see, yeah, you won't see an
There and
apron.
there.
Well, actually, she does have a little apron on, but it's very, lots of lace, kind of a lace shawl, and always with the umbrellas, and sometimes with the little purses. And so it was,
Yeah, the shawl
they
is very
they
distinctive, eh? Mm-hmm.
they come out several times a year, during one of the um, um,
Cool.
traditional fairs that they have, or traditional parades, which, they're very big on preserving tradition. So
Mm-hmm.
now this is back to the Camargue, south of Arles. That's the Mediterranean there. This is a winter day, completely deserted,
Wow, look at the
but
sun though.
not that cold. I just had on like a cap and I think I had on a sweatshirt and a jacket or something, but it was about a 40-minute walk from the closest place to park.
Yeah.
I think I had my foldable bike that day. Anyway, okay, so this is the last slide, and some very creative, upbeat passerby created this little sign that says "Gros Bisous," and with a heart at the end, spelled out in rocks. It means big
Yeah, big
kiss.
kiss. Big
So it's
kisses.
like,
That's lovely. So lovely.
yeah.
Well,
So
thank
that's
you for
yeah.
taking those pictures and showing them to us. That was really,
Very welcome.
really, really interesting. I'm sure you have lots more, but it just shows you how close everything is, right? That you can go and see, and it's just so rich and full and
Yeah.
so many things to do. It's wonderful. Now, before let's go on though, we've got more. We're going to go back to our slide of where you are. And then I think a lot of people would be interested in like the house and where you
Oh,
live, right? Because
oh,
picking a
okay.
place is a big deal. So
Yes.
you did take some pictures for us of you
Yes.
and your home. So just we've got about 4 slides here that we'll go through.
Okay.
So just
Yeah.
explain. Oh, I like the one with the rosé. I'm sure
Yeah,
lots of
I
people
think
are
that
looking
might
at
be
that.
Saint Bert. That's one of our favorite
Oh,
vintners here. So that's just a little side garden that we have. We created a kind of a little place for a apero. It's cool in the summer over there. It's
nice.
on the east side of the house, and the bamboo's grown so tall that it's stays pretty
Bamboo.
cool over there. And then that's an overview. That's back up in the LPs on the right-hand side. You can
Right. And we
see,
see that little
yeah,
church steeple
the
there
little
again, right?
church steeple. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our favorite
Mm.
overview view point. Yeah, and here's the big picture on the upper left. That's our back terrace, and you can see a little tiny glimpse of the pool
The
on the
pool is
left hand.
down here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not
exactly.
this pool, but it's right
Yeah.
there. Right.
And then on the right hand side with the blue cover, blue shutters,
Wow.
that's just around the corner, but that's kind of an old traditional house. And then the bottom one is just a few doors down from the traditional house. This was an old rundown ruin, and somebody came along and completely overhauled it, and now it's very kind of contemporary and elegant, and surprisingly with a see-through fence, which is
Wow.
extremely rare.
Yeah.
Mostly you get a wall. People treasure their privacy here. So first, yeah, house goes up, and then the wall.
So if
And
you're
so,
walking down your street towards town, which you told me is about an 8-minute walk,
yeah,
would you see mostly walls and,
yep, yep.
sort of
Yeah,
the
in
flowers and trees?
our particular development, there are about 40 some
Okay.
homes. They're all different, but they're all in that kind of beige stucco with a tile roof, and
Hmm.
the colored the blue volets or what have you. But all you see a wall. I mean, you can
Right.
only see the second story. That's pretty much it
But then behind the
until you
scenes,
round the corner.
you
And
have
this
this
is
kind of thing, right? Like this is sort of your
yes,
backyard,
exactly.
courtyard,
So you create
right?
your little private enclave on the inside.
Do you do all
Um,
your own flowers and everything, Gail?
yeah, those are in the front there. Those are dipladenias, and they can withstand the harsh summer heat
Mm,
unbelievably.
mm.
I don't know how they do it, but that's pretty much all I have.
And what, and
Um,
how hot does it get?
we got up to, I don't know, maybe 39 degrees centigrade.
Wow.
So what would that be? Um,
It's hot. It's 100 degrees.
yeah,
Yeah.
35
Yeah.
is 95. So yeah, we're pushing 100.
Yeah. Pushing 100. Wow.
Right. So it wasn't that bad this year. When it got that hot, it didn't stay that hot that long.
Wow.
Unlike 2019 was really tough.
Was it? Well, now
So
inside the house, do you have air conditioning?
we have one unit that you can't see here, but it's high up on the wall, and it's a reversible air conditioning heat unit.
Right.
And we only turn it on when it gets crazy hot. I think last summer we only turned it on one day. Um, but yeah, more and more you do need it. You really do.
Yeah.
So we don't like to turn it on because we like the natural air flowing through, and
Hmm.
we don't like to close everything up.
And
Um,
if I'm not mistaken, you're sort of sitting in front of this, right? Right here? Are
right
you?
now, yes,
Okay.
no, actually my back, you can see
The
the
painting.
picture. Yeah, the painting right behind me. You can see
Yeah.
it there.
Very
'Cause I'm
cool.
sitting right in front of that.
Do you do a lot of your own cooking or do you go out?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, actually Ralph does a lot of the cooking.
Ah, we might meet Ralph in a minute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's standing by.
Okay. Well,
By. So,
this brings us to the topic that we wanted to cover here. And
oh
that
yeah.
is just, telling people about what they need to look
Mhm.
for when they are, and we called it How to Retire to Provence, but it's also, as
Right,
you and I talked about, people can go for 3 months without getting a visa to France
right,
or any
right,
time in between, right? To try out things. And that was one of the things you told
right.
me is that it's really important to try places out first, right?
Yeah,
Before you
yeah,
decide on a
definitely.
place. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I said, we were really dead set on coming to Provence, I mean to Saint-Remy, and then when it came down to it, we said, oh, wait a second, maybe it's, we need to look around. And I didn't mention earlier that, I meant to, that while we were in Aix-en-Provence for those 18 months, we did do house sitting all over France to test out different areas. So in fact, we almost went to Alsace because we used to go to
Oh, in
Aubernay.
the
But
northern part of
yeah,
France.
and
Yeah.
we almost went to Beaune in Burgundy.
Burgundy.
No,
Yeah,
we
which is
love
over
them.
by
Yeah,
Bordeaux. Yes.
yeah. And
Wow.
so, and
So
I
many,
didn't
I mean,
know.
really, there's so
Yeah,
much to choose from.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so you need to figure out, how much activity you want, how far out in the country do you want, how accessible do you want um, your, what you need. How far away do you want to have to go to get to a grocery store, post office, medical?
Right.
You want to walk or do you want to get in the car every time?
Okay, well, let's start. Actually, I'm just going to show this too, because Gail has very kindly again put together some tips. Do you see those there? I'm not going to keep this up very long, but each one of you will be getting a copy of this where she's kind of come up with 10 tips of things that you need to look for, even if you're just renting for a short period of time. I thought this is brilliant. So let's just talk about the must-haves. Because
Yeah.
do you need a pool? Like when you hear people, they say, oh my God, you have to have a pool. Do you agree
Yeah.
with that?
If you're going to be here in the summer,
Hmm.
I personally would like to have something to dip into.
Yeah.
Now, some friends of ours just moved to a beautiful place around the corner from us that does not have a pool. And it's a kind of a residence with, I think it's got something like 20 apartments. They're all 3-story, and it's a beautiful building. And they all have air conditioning, as
Yeah.
far as I know, but no pool. So, if you're going to be renting. So if you have a garden, a lot of people put up little temporary above ground pools just so you have something to dip into.
Something like
And
a plunge pool.
I never thought that I would ever say, recommend that. But now I'm thinking, that might be a good way to
Better
go.
than not having one. Is air conditioning something that's pretty much, you find it everywhere, or do you have to be very specific and ask for that?
Well, I think absolutely you need to ask because
Hmm.
older places probably are not going to have it. you know, and you might,
Mhm.
if you're here in the
No.
summer, you might be able to get along with a fan, but it might be tough if you're down here. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't want to relive those 2 summers in the place where we were with only fans. We melted many a day, I can tell you.
And I mean, I love the way you write about that. I could feel the heat. It was horrible. But we stood in this beautiful place, but you really couldn't enjoy it because of the heat, right? Yeah, very
Oh,
difficult.
geez, somebody just wrote in. They want to move, come here for a few months. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I should point out that 3 months um, means that you have to go away for 3 months. You can't
Yes.
do you can't do 2 consecutive 3-month periods.
Right. Right.
Three
That's right.
months and then out, and then
Yes.
you gone for
Then you
3 months, you can come back in.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
you always have to check the latest because things are changing all the time.
And another one that I would mention too is even when I rent for a few weeks or a month,
Mhm.
internet. How strong is the internet?
Oh,
Because they don't,
very
not
good.
everybody in France has a strong
Right.
internet connection like we tend to
That
have here.
is excellent point.
Mm.
In fact, during our big bird year that we're going to talk about in a minute,
Yeah.
um, you know, I only rented places that had internet, and I failed to ask that question. And one time we showed up, and I said to the manager, I said, "Oh, well, don't forget the Wi-Fi code." And she goes, "Well, why? You don't need it. It doesn't work." I said, "What?"
What?
Yeah. She said, "Yeah, it's been out for a couple of months."
Oh, that would be a
I said,
deal
"Oh my
breaker for me.
gosh." Oh
And then
no. So
before I put this down, the other thing that I get asked a lot is about a car. You know, if you're in
yeah,
Paris, you don't need a car, but if you're outside in the country or in a smaller
right.
place,
Yeah.
what
Right.
are your views on that, Gail?
Yeah. Well, you could rent a car, you know,
Once in a
for the
while?
times that you want to get to if you want to go to the little villages that don't have train, you know, connections,
Yeah.
then yeah, you need a car because you can't rely on the buses. They might have buses, but then the schedule may not suit you.
But
You
and
know,
where
if
you
you're,
are,
oh,
can you just go to the train station and get on and go somewhere
buy a
without
ticket
having a
first.
car? Yeah. Like, you know, like you can get on and go to Marseille or go into Nice or whatever. You
Sure.
can do that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Now,
So
Saint
it's
Remy doesn't have
doable.
a, oh, sure. You know,
Yeah.
if you're an X, you can hop the train and go wherever you want, or hop the bus and you can go to the TGV station and, um, you know, hop on the train and go wherever you want.
Right. I love how Lois here, as she said, I visited Saint Remy twice. Last time
Oh,
was about 4 years ago, and she bought two dresses in a charming little, I can't see the rest of it, but there it is.
oh,
Charming, yeah,
well,
charming little boutique. So other
it's a,
people I know that have gone to the town, I guess it's a town, literally a town, 10,000 people.
yeah,
Uh, you know, they've just loved it. They said it was just fabulous, you know, a
yeah.
place to
It
go.
punches above its weight, I think
Yeah,
we can say.
yeah. Yeah, and like Peter Mayle, though, I forget the town that he was in. It's on the tip
An
of my tongue.
Arab.
Yeah, that's right. And he, of course, wrote about it at length and gave the name, which changed everything for the village because it was
Yeah.
inundated with people. So we won't broadcast Saint Remy too much, except to the people on my blog. So and that's okay.
I think it's been discovered.
Yeah, I think it has been discovered. Okay, so now what I would like to do is give away a couple of books of yours and then talk about your new book too, which is very
Okay.
interesting. So the way I'm going to do this is everybody on the chat. I hope so. Yeah, I can
So
see you are.
this is the,
Yes, this is the book that we're going to be giving out. A lovely book and such an easy read. And it's just one of those ones that you'll keep forever and go back and look at it. So here's what we're going to do in order to, I'm going to give away two of them. And here's what I want you to do. You saw something in this interview today about places that Gayle loves to visit, activities like she likes to do in her village. So I want you, Gayle, to think of one word that would describe one of those activities in your head. Don't say it. Okay. And
I
then
got it.
you got it? Okay. I
Yep,
want you in the
got it.
chat, everybody, to um, put down what you think that word is, and we'll see what happens here. Again, I've got to find the chat. Oops, I can't.
Oh,
I
it's a good one.
lost it.
Oh, ooh.
Okay, I lost it. Here we go. Okay. All right. Oops, I have lost the chat. How am I going to do this? All right, no, I haven't. Okay. So write down 10 new messages. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Very good. Now this is a place. I'm going to give you another chance because some of you have said,
Somebody got it.
okay, we won't say yet because I don't know what it is either. Let me go. I'm going to start at the beginning here. where we've
Can you
got,
see?
okay, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to write down. All right.
I saw it flash by.
Okay. So I'm just waiting for everybody to get a chance to get on there. Everybody. Okay. It looks like everybody. Okay. So what was the activity?
Oh, you want me to say?
You can say it now because I'm going to then pick the winner here.
It's the market.
The market. Okay. 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 So it looks like, well, Lois, you're batting 1,000 today. I don't think anybody got, well, Lois did the first one. Okay. And I'm going to see if there's any others. I see one more. And we have a second winner, Sue Patterson. So you, Lois and Sue Patterson are the winners of the book. So I will be getting in contact with you and getting your addresses so I can mail that out to you. Congratulations. That's really good. And thank you for everybody. And yay, Susan from Andrea Sinclair. That's very good. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Now let's talk about, you're an author, and every author I know is working on a second book. I am too, but I'm not nearly as far advanced as you are. So let's talk about that book. Tell me what you're doing. Oh, and you've got it. Oh my goodness. Okay.
This is a proof. So
Okay,
you can
this is
see
a proof.
the band
The
here.
bird
This is
watcher's wife.
wife. Oh, how can I see that? Yeah.
So
the
I
bird
know
watcher's
this is
wife.
about
That would be
France
me.
again. So tell me about it. What is this book
Okay. So this was the story of 2019. Ralph's idea, or the idea he proposed, was to go on a quest to see if he could find 200 bird species in France in 1 year. And
200 in 1 year. Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
okay. So can I read a little part of the blurb?
Please
Okay.
do.
Okay. So the eat preen love style of birds does not fascinate Gayle, but an off-the-beaten-track adventure does. Ancient hilltop villages, vibrant outdoor markets, and gastronomics delights await. Aware that the mission is powered by passion and protective of the relationship, she insists Ralph go slow and savor the experience. He agrees, but is it a promise he can keep? They'll crisscross the country from the Mediterranean to the English Channel, the Pyrenees to the Alps. Heart-pounding alpine roads, mosquito-ridden marshes, and Mother Nature's mighty forces challenge their resolve. However, France's natural beauty, captivating culture, and astonishing bird life lead the way to discoveries that surprise them both.
So you started, this is a year trip you took. You started to go different places. This is how you just planned all that out?
Planned all that out.
Okay.
I was the planner, and I logged the story, lugged his spotting scope, and I was the logistics guy. That was my job.
Okay. And how do you pick places based on what kind of birds you wanted to find, right? What was the most, so you write about this as a story of the journey you took.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's going to be awesome.
So we went everywhere, and I wanted to find places where he needed to find the birds at the certain time of year when they would be there, considering migration and all that. And, but I wanted there to be stuff for me.
Like?
Yeah. Like markets and, spas and, shopping and food. So bib gourmands were a big deal for me. Those are a category of Michelin-starred restaurants that are sort of, well, they're kind of the wannabes. These are the restaurants that Michelin has tipped its hat to, but without the poshness and the pretense and so on, and without the, the fancy prices. So I had to kind of juggle all this stuff, and I came up with a list and then proposed it to Ralph. And I said, hey, does this get you where you need to go when you need to go there? We kind of did a little refining, and then I found those apartments to stay in, and
so that helped, right?
Wi-Fi was a big deal. So you just assume everybody has it, but what you need to ask is, how strong and reliable is it?
Yeah, so
that's a nice way to ask, do you really have it?
Yeah. Can I ask what the most outstanding bird was that you found on your travels? And we might bring Ralph in a minute, right?
Actually, the one that was really, this is, I don't know. Oopsie. See,
yep, you can see. Yeah, hold it up.
This is called wait a minute, I can't that right.
Yeah, you got it. Bring it that way. Yeah.
Eagle owl.
Eagle owl. Wow.
Eagle owl is a bubo bubo is its name. Or that's a Latin name. Sorry. Okay. That's correcting me.
Okay, wow. I can't imagine doing that.
So he's been looking for that bird. It's in the LP. this whole time we've been down here, which is, a decade worth. Well, all those other trips we came down here from Germany, he never could find, because it hides in the LP. And we finally found it. And
I
I
can't
shouldn't
imagine
even
what that
tell
was
you
like.
this, because now you don't need to read February.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, it was a big deal to find it. And it's such an impressive bird.
Okay, so how do we get your new book? It's not quite out yet. It's just approved.
No, not quite out, but very soon. And,
Okay.
of course, it'll be on Amazon, but then any bookstore can order it.
Okay,
I mean,
you let me know, because I'll give one away to somebody on my blog too. I'll give
Okay,
that book away.
okay, that
I'd
would
love
be
to do that.
wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
That'd be
And then are you
wonderful.
working on anything else?
Oh, I have one thing at a time.
Okay, that's how I feel too. So
One thing at a
I
time.
just thought I'd ask just to make sure.
Yeah, let's get, this one wasn't so easy, because it was
Oh,
required
intensely
a lot of
detail.
detail.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of detail.
Wow, how
So
long did
I
it take you to write it?
rest. Well, let's see. He came up with the idea in October 2018.
So
Then
wow,
we
that's not
spent
that
all
long
of
ago.
2019, doing
Traveling.
the journey, and I wrote the journal of it. And then we had the big bird party on the 2nd of February 2020. And so we had an open house, and
Fantastic.
it was pretty fun. I made little little paper binoculars and name tags that people wore around their neck.
Oh, isn't that terrific? That's wonderful.
And then they guessed, when they came in, they guessed how many birds he saw. They knew that he wanted to see 200, but only one person knew. It was only one person knew. A friend of mine knew how many he'd actually seen.
So are you going to tell us that number, or we have to read the book? No, of course not. Okay. Okay. And I better wrap this up now. But one last question. Is there anything that you miss from home? Like when you try to get
Mexican food.
Mexican food. Okay. No Mexican food in San Remi?
French don't do spicy.
No, they don't.
Even if you go to an Indian restaurant, the curries will be very bland, very mild. They don't spice it up like
Thank you so much. Maybe Ralph could make a little bit of a. Ralph is there. You can just say hello before I thank you both. Yeah, you've got some wine there. That sounds good. Yes.
We wanted to have a little toast.
Oh, look at Ralph. Hello, Ralph.
Hi.
Yeah, so
it's been a big part of our technology in the background. So thank you. And I'm really excited about reading your book.
We wanted to thank everybody for tuning in, and it's been delightful time. Thank you, Diana. And we wanted to make a little toast.
Go ahead.
Everyone. So this is to the to Joie de Vivre and to La Belle Vie, wherever you are.
Yes.
And stay safe and well, and salut.
Salut.
There you go. Well, I want to thank you both. And then I'll wrap this up by saying, for everybody, just in case you came in late, today our guest has been Gayle Smith Padgett, author of A Passion for France, or Provence. And well, all of France, but Provence in particular.
That's true.
Now, everybody, you can buy her book. Also, if you didn't win it today, you can buy her book on my website under the tab Book Club. And it's at womanofacertainageinparis.com. But you can also find out more about Gayle on her website. And she has her own website at Gayle, Gayle, Smith Padgett, Padgett.com. So thank you so much, Gayle. Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Avec plaisir.
Yeah, thank you. And my last little word is that next month, my guest is going to be Lindsay Transmuta, who has written a very disruptive book and highly acclaimed book called The New Parisian. And she is overturning the long-held myth and stereotype of the French woman with what she calls a more expanded, representative, and contemporary view. So you don't want to miss that, and you'll be hearing more about that in a upcoming blog. So thanks again, everybody. Goodbye from Canada and all around the world, and goodbye to you.
Okay.
All the best, everyone.